I returned to Quaramonte and found that Georges had left a message with Conchita. He'd already left for the Indian village, so I hurried to catch up with him. When I arrived, I found a scene of desolation. These sunglasses are Georges. Georges, where are you? Titipoco, I'm almost glad to see you. You little asshole, what happened here? Are you responsible for this? And where's Georges? Have you seen him? He was pointing to the remains of a burned-out hut. They were Georges' shades. It was the jaguar stone which I'd found in London. One thing I was sure of, those underpants weren't Georges. Maybe Georges can make use of these. They were lovely underpants, really. That barrel would have looked great on my patio, filled with shrubs. There was nothing in the barrel. It was a small drinking vessel made from some kind of gourd. That cup was no use to me. It had a hole in it. The barrel contained cool, refreshing water. The barrel was too heavy to move. It was Titipoco. I still hadn't forgiven him for knocking me out with his poisoned dart. These are Georges' shades, right? Has he been here?
Jaws!
Where is he now? What's that? It looks like the stone we bought from Paris, but it's different. Yes, it has a carving of an eagle. That clinches it. Georges must have found this stone in the Caribbean and managed to hide the stone when the village was attacked by Carzac's men. I hope to God that Georges was all right. Where's Georges? Georges has been here, right? He was pointing to the smoldering remains of a hut. It was a smashed lantern, probably the cause of this destruction. I didn't need the lantern since it was still daylight. Besides, it was broken. It was a very hot and blackened stone. It was too hot to pick up. The underpants weren't thick enough to protect my hands. I just didn't have the strength to tip that barrel. Hey, Shorty! Make yourself useful and help me with this barrel. Thanks. The ground was covered with ashes. Ashes! The thought that they might be human chilled me to the bone. I recognize that. It's the Coyote Stone. I had the Coyote and Jaguar stones. Titipoco had the Eagle, according to the shaman. That's all we needed to deal with Tezcatlipoca. Pity he hadn't any ideas for dealing with Karzak. What is it? Where are you pointing? How did you hook up with a maniac like Karzak in the first place?
Karzak? Whoop whoop loco!
Yes, he scares me too. Would you like some chocolate, Titipoco? It's good vintage. You're smarter than you look. It was a length of strong rope. It was a simple wooden platform lift, used for shifting equipment, I presumed. It was the Coyote Stone. It was the Jaguar Stone which I'd found in London. They were lovely underpants, really. The engine looked like it was supposed to power the lift. It was a small but very enticing button. There was a lever mounted on the side of the motor. The button didn't seem to do anything. The button didn't seem to do anything. The cap was attached to the lift engine by a chain. It was an old electricity generator. It was a small, screw-fit cylindrical housing. It was a small, screw-fit cylindrical housing. There was an unlit torch by the base of the steps.
Hey, señorita!
Too late. I had been seen.
Bonjour, Capitaine.
Only Sergeant, pretty one. What are you doing here?
Auntie, I mean, la Presidenta.
La Presidenta is your aunt?
Mais oui! Anyway, Auntie said I could watch what Cousin Raoul was doing.
But you're not Quaramontian.
No, I was raised in France. It's a long story. May I go up the pyramid?
We have strict instructions not to let anybody pass.
Oh, but I've told you who I am. Surely nobody would mind.
Well,
Oh, please, I'd be ever so grateful.
I tell you what. I'll ask Pablo if it's okay for you to go up.
If Pablo saw me, I'd be dead. No, it's not worth the bother. I'm not really that interested in their stupid pyramid anyway.
Well, okay. It's men's work up there anyway.
I'll just run along and play around here, okay?
Okay, you do that.
It looked like Carzak was using Quaramontean troops and local Indians as his guards. It looked like Carzak was... I didn't want to push my luck by talking with the guards again. I really didn't want to talk to them. I really... There was nothing I wanted. It looked like a fuel line. It was an old electricity generator. Titipoco, any ideas what I can do with this rope? He just looked at me. If anybody was going to come up with a plan, it was going to have to be me. It was a simple wooden platform lift, used for shifting equipment, I presumed. The button didn't seem to do anything. The cap was attached to the lift engine by a chain. The scaffold gantry went all the way up the pyramid. The scaffold gantry The scaffold gantry went. The button didn't seem to do anything. The button didn't seem. The cap was attached to the lift engine by a chain. Titipoco, I have an important job for you. Take this rope to the top of this scaffolding and throw it over the top.
Oh,
The engine looked like it was supposed to power the lift. The button didn't seem to do anything. The button. There was nothing I wanted. The motor spluttered into life. Titipoco, when I tell you, I want you to copy what I am doing.
copy.
Okay? Copy. Georges! I realized those bastards were going to sacrifice Georges to Tezcatlipoca over my dead body. Thankfully, Georges was the only one to notice me.
Where are they? The eclipse is about to happen.
Patience. Your mother will be here soon and Karzak will be close behind. Just keep the Yankee covered and leave the worrying to others.
Yeah, Raoul.
The maniacs were going to sacrifice Georges!
Shut up, Stobart. Just shut up!
Calm down. He's no threat.
Hey, Raoul, why don't you do us both a favor and shoot Pablo?
You're very funny, Stobart. I haven't forgotten Marseille. When Karzak cuts your heart out, I'll be the one laughing.
I'll bet I'm not the only one due for the chop around here either. Hey, Raoul?
I'm warning you.
Raoul was a bundle of raw nerves. I hoped Georges wouldn't push him too far. There were a few sealed crates and drums. None of them looked like they might be useful. Karzak's goons had left an ammunition belt lying around. It was Pablo, Karzak's right-hand sadist. It smelled coppery, like blood. The whole place stank like an abattoir. General Raoul Graziento. I didn't fancy Raoul's chances once Karzak didn't need him anymore. It was a stone table. Given the history of the place, I wondered how many poor wretches had lost their lives and hearts upon it. It was a round of ammunition. I couldn't get the belt into the flames without Pablo seeing me. There was nothing I wanted to ask him. He wouldn't have wanted it. I really didn't want to talk to them. I really didn't want to. It was a round of ammunition. Titipoco, do you still have that lighter gun you pulled on me so amusingly?
What's going on over there? Do you need help, my pretty?
Nothing's wrong. I dropped, a cigarette butt. Everything is under control. I'll have the fire out in a minute or two. The fuel was burning violently. No way was I going to touch the fire. Self-immolation isn't my style.
What's that? What's happening?
Trouble.
Give it up. The pyramid's surrounded.
I'll find out what the trouble is. Watch Stubber doesn't pull any tricks. If he does, shoot him in the head, not through the heart.
Why does it matter? He'll be dead either way.
His heart belongs to Tezcatlipoca.
That's not true. We just had dinner a couple of times.
It smelled coppery, like blood. The whole place stank like an abattoir.
Drop the gun or I shoot!
Please, don't hurt me.
Don't worry yourself, my finger isn't loaded.
Nico, what are you doing here?
Firstly, I'm going to set Georges free, and then screw up Karzak's scheme.
No, I can't let you do that. Karzak has promised me power.
Raoul, wake up. The only thing Karzak has on offer is death. You may want to ask Oublier, except you can't. Karzak murdered him.
You're lying. Ubier's in Europe.
Sure, he's in Europe. In London, on a mortuary slab with 2 bullet holes in him.
But Karzak promised. When he frees Tezcatlipoca, we'll all be granted great power.
Listen to her, Raoul. Karzak's insane.
I don't know. I need to think.
You've let your mother do your thinking for you up to now. You need to think for yourself. Your mother and Karzak think alike. There's only one expendable member of the plan left, and that's you.
Mother would never betray me.
Oh, I'm tired of trying to reason with you, Raoul. Titipoco. Watch this man, and if he makes a move, shoot him with your gun. Hold still, Georges. I don't want to sacrifice you by accident.
You have no idea how glad I am to see you.
They were going to cut your heart out. I think I can guess. We can save the happy reunions for later. We've got to move. Come on!
We're safe.
This is a dead end.
We're toast. I know, Titipoco. I'm not too happy here either.
He knows this is Tezcatlipoca's pyramid. The house of the enemy.
Well, we can't stay here like rats in a trap.
And we can't go out the way we came in. It would be suicide. I'll have a look round. Maybe there's another way out. In the meantime... Take this. It's the Coyote Stone. It might bring you luck, I hope.
You managed to recover the stones from the village? Then we might have a chance after all. Incidentally, what would Titipoco have done if Graciento had moved?
Titipoco? Nothing. He's given up violence. It was Titipoco. It was Georges, just rescued from certain death and not looking suitably grateful. The lever was made of stone. There was a large image on the wall of a man in ceremonial garb. More usefully, there were also a couple of levers. Georges?
Yeah?
There was nothing I wanted to talk to Georges about just then. This was a time for action, not talk. On the wall was an intricate pattern in blue and gold. By the door was a pattern picked out in blue. The pattern seemed to have only religious significance. The pattern meant nothing to me. Outside was certain death. Oof! The lever was very difficult to move and appeared to do nothing anyway.
Heave!
Still no good.
George?
Yeah?
George, I can only pull one lever at a time, and I think we need to pull both together.
Okay, I'm up for that.
Raoul, there's something suspicious This sacrifice! Where is it?
Nico was here with Titipoco. They set him free. I couldn't stop them.
You idiot! I should have strangled you at birth. Titipoco's gone soft. He wouldn't have hurt you.
I know that.
The darkness of the sun is almost upon us, and we have no sacrifice to appease Tezcatlipoca. Have you any idea what your incompetence will cost us?
I think so. And I'm glad.
What?
The Mayans weren't fools. Tezcatlipoca should stay exactly where they put him.
Finally got some backbone from somewhere, huh? Shame it's so late in the day.
I'd rather die than see you and Karzak with that devil's power.
Fine, we're still a sacrifice short. See, the eclipse begins. Pablo, kill him! Tezcatlipoca can feed upon his yellow heart.
Nico was right all along, but it's still not too late.
Come on then, Pablo. Let's see who sacrifices who.
What place is this? I was in some sort of strange room. Tiles and dials. The priests who designed this place must have known how to use them. I was going to have to figure it out for myself if I ever wanted to get out of here. It was the great stone head that had spat me out. It reminded me of an ex-boyfriend, on both counts. The chute I'd arrived on was too steep and slippery to get back up. The room was dominated by an enormous device, decorated with the usual Mayan motifs. It held two great discs, each covered in glyphs. It was the Great Disc Machine. There were several tiles with glyphs on them. The monkey held a board containing more tiles with colored glyphs on them. The monkey held a board containing more tiles with colored. The tile didn't move at all. The tile didn't want to move. The tile moved inwards and clicked home. The tile didn't move at all. The tile... Et voilà! George once told me that there's an act to finding secret doors. I think I'm beginning to get the hang of it.